Welcome to the Freedom Podcast. Ow! Here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Cole Ryan, and I'm the owner of Freedom Physical Therapy and Fitness and a physical therapist or lead physical therapist here. So I'm doing podcast number 2. This is Built to Move: Health, Purpose, and Taking Control. So what does that mean? Well, the human body is built to move. We're designed to move. Motion is lotion. You hear all these things, and we hear it all the time now. Exercise is key to longevity and prosperity. Okay, so I was interviewing a therapist that's coming on board yesterday, literally just yesterday, and super excited to have her on board. But the idea is exercise is key to longevity and prosperity. So it's not, how many medications can I get on? You need to have some level of exercise in your routine, okay? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Built to Move: Health, Purpose, and Taking Control of Your Own Life. So my story, so I started this clinic in 2023, and I started it because I noticed early on in my career as a physical therapist when I was working in an outpatient, and this is with all due respect, I noticed a significant decline in quality of care where we were just trying to see as many people as possible. It was about volume, and it's actually just gotten worse over the past few years. And I knew early on in my career that this is not going to give patients the best outcomes. Right? So a lot of people are looking for outcomes. We think about singular sessions and like, what are we doing today? Well, we're thinking about what we're trying to work towards, not what we're necessarily doing today. We're thinking about the goals that we have in mind. So I was talking to a gentleman yesterday. He has these set goals in mind, and it's like, all right, this is going to take some time for us to get to those goals. But if you're dedicated, you're committed to it, and you have the right team, you can succeed, okay? So I knew early on in my career that, we've got to do something different. Physical therapy as a profession is unfortunately really going through some things right now. Outpatient has taken a hit as far as just overall experience, quality of care, where you're just another number. And the reason being is actually insurance rates have gotten so bad. That's really what comes down to what you're seeing in the clinic now. But I knew I needed to do something different, and I wanted to provide patients with a better experience. And so I initially thought I could do that under an insurance model, and it can't be done, not as a solo clinician. It cannot be done. You can't have a successful business, unfortunately, following that model. So I've transitioned more to a private pay model, and we have really tried to push for experience, great outcomes, but then also the business has to succeed itself, right? So that's very important. Obviously, if the business doesn't succeed, we're not able to provide patients with that experience. So I knew early on in my career that, this is the way, and I'm going to make it happen. So I had a partner who felt the same way I did. So we started the practice in 2023. Really just went out in the community, connected with a lot of doctors, a lot of surgeons, and, some people were really receptive. Some people, it's like, I got to get past the gatekeeper, and that's really tough. Gatekeepers, I know who you are now. So that front desk administration, all I'm trying to do is provide people with really accountability, quality care, and then I'm trying to make a life for myself as well, right? I don't want to work for this large corporate entity that has these expectations of, well, this is how you need to treat a patient. I'm the physical therapist. I'd like to make those decisions, right? So I knew early on that that's what I was going to do. So we started the practice, and these things matter to me because they matter to you, right? My goal is to get you to where you want to be. And you have that expectation when you walk into the door on day one. You're like, all right, I just had a shoulder replacement. I just had a knee replacement. Or I just threw my back out playing golf or playing pickleball. This guy's going to get me back to where I need to be. And how many sessions? How much commitment, dedication do we have? What are we limited with as far as insurance companies go? Because they do have red tape and regulations and reimbursement problems, and also just not paying, period, right? So these things actually happen, and I have experienced it, and it's not a good thing for patients. So ultimately, this matters to me and to you because I'm providing you the best experience possible. I just worked with a lady today. She is actually from out of the country. She doesn't have, really insurance here in the United States, and she pays out of pocket. She pays private pay. She paid $2,700 for a 12-visit package. And we went through our first full treatment session today, and she walked away totally satisfied, completely pleased with really the layout of what we were doing. We're working on both shoulders, we're working on both hips, and we're working on core strength. So all of these things that we're able to do in one singular session, just based on how I'm starting to transition my practice to this private pay model where I'm interested in getting people better, okay? So problems that people don't probably talk about enough in this field, as far as patient experience goes, physical therapy. A lot of times there's this misconception that twice a week for 4 to 6 weeks is going to get you 100% better, and that is not true. That is just not the reality, okay? Human beings, all you have to do is look around. We're all different. We're all completely different when it comes to posture, gait, muscle mass, body fat. We're all different. So we all respond to exercise differently, whether that's therapeutic exercise, that's cardiovascular endurance, that's aerobic, anaerobic conditioning. So all of these things that humans just respond differently. Sometimes it takes longer to build strength. I usually tell people what I really like you to give me is a minimum of 3 months to get you really close to where you want to be. Twice a week for 4 to 6 weeks, that's usually not going to do it. If we're post-op, I've had a patient go through her insurance, and we don't take this insurance anymore. I had a patient go through her insurance, and she had a knee replacement. She got 6 visits approved. We cannot rehab a total knee replacement in 6 visits. It's absurd. So that's just the reality, and that's the fact that we face each and every day. A common struggle that people think or face is they think we're going to make those strides in 4 to 6 weeks, and when it doesn't happen, they shut off. They're like, you know what, this isn't working. Physical therapy's not working. It's not for me. And a lot of times that's really just not true. And I would say that's probably 90% of the cases. So you have to stick with it. It's a process. It really is. That's why I tell so many people, when it comes to New Year's resolutions, so many people give up on going to the gym because they don't see a change after the first month. That's 4 weeks. So now we just stopped going to the gym. Now we're back to what we were doing before, whereas last year we said we were going to stop that life and we were going to start something new. And it's just a recurring cycle that we find ourselves in, where we don't see results right away, we quit, we stop. You know what? This doesn't work. Or, hey, I'm not feeling any better. Maybe I'm feeling a little bit worse, which can sometimes happen, right? So when it comes to strength building, the body has to actually break itself down to an extent in order to build itself back up, right? So that's how we build strength. So more cross bridges, stronger muscles. It takes at least 4 to 6 weeks to actually start to make those changes. So why do people feel stuck and overwhelmed or discouraged? Because they don't see those changes after 4 to 6 weeks. And they're like, you know what, this isn't working. Or, hey, your plan of care is twice a week for 4 weeks and you missed 3 sessions. Now you only saw me for a handful of sessions. You saw me for 5, 6 sessions over the course of 4 weeks. That is not enough, guys. That's not enough, right? You've gone with this low back pain for 20 years. Getting it to feel better in 4 to 6 weeks is not a realistic expectation. Now, if we add in some other modalities and technology, maybe I can get you feeling pretty good after 6 to 8 weeks. But that would include compliance, commitment, doing your exercises at home. We're doing dry needling, maybe for a chronic low back. We're doing red light, near infrared, all of these different things that really are best as an adjunct. Now I could probably get you maybe from a 10 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 pain to 4 out of 10 after 6 to 8 weeks. But it takes time, okay? It takes time. So most systems get this approach wrong because physical therapy and the healthcare system is dictated by insurance companies beyond belief, to where I really don't even know how we got to this point. I mean, this is as bad as I've ever experienced. So my goal as a physical therapist when I graduated school was I was going to get to work, I was going to get people better, and I'm going to get you back to the life that you dream of, right? So maybe that's playing 18 holes on the golf course with no pain or minimal pain, maybe a little bit of stiffness after, that's normal. Maybe you want to get back to gardening, getting down on your hands and knees, getting a little dirty here in gardening, being able to get back up from the floor. You don't really see therapists working on those types of activities. The insurance model is we have to do objective measures. We have to do these cookie cutter exercises a lot of times, especially if we're working with 2 to 3 people at a time, which I do not anymore. That's just not going to work for everyone, okay? It may work for some people, but your 20-year chronic low back pain patient, that is not going to work. And you know what's going to happen is after that 4 to 6 weeks, they're going to say, hey, physical therapy doesn't work. It's not for me. Well, because you're going in and you're being seen with other patients, you're not getting that attention, especially when it comes to prescribing and dosing exercise correctly, right? So I had a guy a couple weeks ago, we introduced the straight leg raise, simple exercise. We had 2 pounders on each leg. He didn't like that, did not do well with it. We had some low back pain after that for 3 or 4 days. All right, we got to dose it down. We got to regress the exercise. So we dropped it down to straight leg raise, no weight, 10 times better, 10 times better, okay? Maybe we'll do a little massage and manual therapy as well. But these things are really important to recognize, and the insurance model, unfortunately, does not work for everyone. So that's really important to understand that. Really a better way forward is the philosophy I'm taking. I really believe in the system that I'm taking. I refer to it as a functional wellness approach. And what that means is I'm looking at you from a functional standpoint in a holistic manner. So, we're really trying to address some root causes with, whether it's the shoulder, cervicogenic headaches. I'm seeing a lady right now who's had, chronic migraines that are intense, really disabled her life. She's had them for 40 years. I started dry needling. We're doing some postural work, some manual, and red light and near infrared. And we've had 3 sessions. She has not had, she told me this morning, she's not had a migraine since we started. So, I mean, this is some incredible stuff that can occur when we really follow a free-flowing model of, hey, I'm going to treat you how I want to treat you, not how the insurance companies want me to treat you. And there is a difference, guys. There's a huge difference. So my approach is trying to really establish and understand what's going on with you. You know, how long have you had it? What are the expectations? So if you had it for 20 years, it's going to take us longer than 4 to 6 weeks to address, right? So it's important to have this mindset going into it. The behavior is cooperation, compliance. You know, when I ask you guys to do something, I need you to do it and understand that I always have rationale with what I'm explaining to you. Okay, I always have rationale. So, you know, what doing it right looks like in real life here, especially at Freedom, is, you know, we have the freedom to treat you how we want to treat you. So you're coming in and we're really starting off with some testing. We're doing some testing, trying to grab some measurements if we feel like we need to, and then really just trying to pinpoint, you know, the problems. What are you having difficulties with? Okay, let's do some screening for it and just try and get an understanding on, you know, what the big picture is, your expectations, you know, what goals you want to achieve. That's where we want to get you to. So wins, some recent wins I had discussed earlier. I had my gal today. She bought a 12-visit package for, it was a little over $2,700. And big win today. She walked out of here feeling fantastic. We spent a lot of time just working on really just stability because she's very weak. She's very compromised. Really mostly torn rotator cuff on one side and really compromised. She can lift overhead, which is incredible. So we have something there, and now it's just trying to build off of that, okay? So that's a big win. She walked out of here feeling great, and this was her second visit. You know, my gal with the chronic migraines, she's been feeling really good lately, okay? She's actually back in the gym. She went a little hard. So she was feeling sore today, so we told her to back off of that. Some other wins, of course, you know, any of our chronic low back pain, I'm doing dry needling and I'm getting great results with it, but you got to stick with the protocol, okay? So new patient from last week, introduced her to dry needling. A lot of muscle tension on the right side compared to the left, so that was really interesting. And I got done with the dry needling. We leave the needles in for about 15 minutes. We always do the electrical stimulation for cases like that. And I take the needles out and that muscle tension's gone. So absolutely incredible work that we can do with dry needling, especially with chronic low back pain. So she came in the next session, this is her second visit, and she said it was the best she had felt in months. So things like that, that's the goal here at Freedom, right? So encouragement is really, I encourage you guys to understand what I'm trying to do here differently. So the goal was always to give you guys the best experience and the best outcomes, right? So it is my mission to serve all individuals with the quality care that they deserve, because it will make a difference. You know, receiving that level of care. Now you can get some good care under, you know, an insurance model. I'm not saying, you know, it's completely terrible, but it is pretty bad. But, you know, when we follow this plan and really just trying to get that bigger picture, we can typically get better outcomes. I mean, we really can. So really just reassurance for you guys that, you know, this model, it's shifting this way because, you know, I have to make a living as well, okay? So, you know, reimbursement rates for, you know, $42 or a flat rate of $50, like I was seeing those rates from insurance companies, and I cannot pay bills. I can't even pay myself doing that, to be honest with you. So, you know, Freedom as a clinic, we're in a transition. We're moving towards that private pay model, And that's because, I wanted to do this to give you guys the best experience, better outcomes, and also try to succeed in my life. That, hey, I want to help the community. I want to support my family. I want to donate to things that I care about, that I'm passionate about. So those are really important things for me. So, I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to reassure you that this is the right step. These are the right moves that you're making towards your health. So, I get the question all the time. Well, does my insurance cover this? I don't even think about that question anymore as far as a practical answer, because I don't want to think about whether or not insurance covers it, to be honest with you. I understand, like, financially, but just understand that this is an investment in your health, in your life, so you can do things like drive that brand new car that you just bought, or, feel good about yourself physically, right? When we go and get our hair and nails done, we want to feel good about ourselves physically, as far as our image goes, but physically, so where we can go out in the community for our social gatherings, and not have pain, when we go to get out of a chair, or we had a glass of wine, had some good food, and now our friends want to go take a walk up and down Fifth Avenue or something, right? So we want to put you in that position to physically do that and be capable of it and succeed. So simple action for you guys to take this week is really just understand, like, what are some things that are causing me issues throughout my daily routine? What have I done to address it? And could I be doing more? So if you're going to physical therapy right now, great. Keep it up. Keep going. Don't give up on it. You will see results. So keep pushing through it. Now, if you're interested, of course, in what I talk about or what I offer as far as my style of treatment, certainly reach out. Certainly reach out. Our website is freedomptfitness.com. Instagram, Facebook, available, Freedom PT Fitness. We're on TikTok, on Threads, so plenty of ways to reach out. You can email, have your doctor send us a referral. Even if your doctor sends us a referral, that's always a good way for us to connect with you as well, and we can always get some past medical history. But really, it's just trying to dive deeper down into what the profession is supposed to look like. And for far too long, has physical therapy been really denoted as this low quality or low tier service that, oh yeah, I'll pay my $20 copay and go to physical therapy and whatever. It's just a thing that I have to check off. It's so much more than that, guys. And I've talked about it in my past videos that, I'm really, really trying to advocate for the profession, take the profession back, and just make you guys understand that it is worth so much more than that. And I'm sorry that healthcare, I'm sorry that, physicians' offices and insurance companies have allowed you to think that this is a cheap service or that this is an invaluable service, because that's just not the case. I went to school for a really long time. I obtained my doctorate in physical therapy. I put a lot of hours in studying the human body, the physiology, the anatomy, how to make people feel better. That doesn't even include continuing education. So if you're interested in really the way my approach addresses pain, dysfunction, overall health and well-being, reach out. I'd be happy to help. I'd be happy to give you a 20-minute discovery visit. It's a free consultation, just to give you guys some insight on, like, how we could help you, or how maybe some other things can help you. Whether that looks like if it's in the gym, whatever, your gym, personal trainers, working with them, massages, things like that. So just take that next step. And, thanks guys for listening. This is our second podcast. I'm a lone wolf today, but, stay tuned. I'm going to continue the podcasts likely on a weekly basis. We'll have some guests and we'll just have some fun with it. Thanks guys for watching. Have a blessed evening. Thank you.